interesting. The Rockets have held the Warriors below 100 points 4 times this year, but only 2-2 is their record. You see this starting 5 for the Warriors. They are now 17-3 as a group. Familiar 5 for the Rockets as well. You've got the 3 first-timers in the playoffs in Green, Sengun, and Thompson, with Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks. Experienced players with this group of very young and talented Rockets who won 52 games this year. And the Houston native from Tomball High School, Jimmy Butler, back in his hometown, had a terrific game 1. Rockets need more out of Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet. And their response is going to be the big story tonight. This series will go to San Francisco. They'll have 2 days off before this series resumes. So a big one tonight, and away we go. David Guthrie, Courtney Kirkland, Sean Corbin, our 3 officials. Warriors control the opening tip, and right away it's Butler matched up with VanVleet.
And we saw the start. VanVleet was on Draymond Green. They got the switch to get Jimmy Butler into that matchup on VanVleet. They placed Sengun on Moses Moody.
This is where you start to see the matchup start to prevail in a series. In a best of 7, you get 1 game in, and then all the changes these coaches make as Amen Thompson opens up the scoring here tonight.
Well, that's a great pass off the dribble by Jalen Green, and a tremendous cut. And Steph Curry sails that one out of bounds.
Turnover, Golden State. It was the Rockets who had the turnover bug in game 1. 17 giveaways. Steve Kerr knows the importance of this game, Coach. He talked to us prior to the game. He hopes there's not just that little natural let-up when you take game 1 on the road in a best of 7.
Yeah, I've seen it many times. You get that first game, and you just don't have, it's not that you don't play hard, you just don't have the same focus and sense of urgency because you feel like you've already done your job.
Rockets turn it over. Pajemski running the break, and Moody fouled by VanVleet.
But what great hustle by Fred VanVleet to get back into play. It's tough to defend in transition off a turnover. And watch VanVleet here. He gets to the inside of Pajemski and is able to stop the layup by Moses Moody. Great effort, and those are the little plays that help you win big games.
Moses Moody at the line, just 7 points. You see, Stan only had the 5 field goal attempts in game 1. It figures that Moody will be a much bigger part of the group offensively if they're going to prevail here tonight.
Well, Steve Kerr told us before the game, he had told Moses Moody he wanted him to shoot 8 threes a game in this series, being guarded by Sengun, and they need to make them pay for that matchup.
Here's Jalen Green. Rockets need a big night from him, and that's a good start. Green, 4th-year player, just 23 years of age, just 7 points in game 1. Knocks down a triple.
Had an assist on the first play, so all 5 points he's had a hand in here to start. You see the physicality here of the Rockets.
Butler backs down Brooks. Those 2 wearing microphones for us tonight. That's going to be a fun listen, I think. I don't know if we have enough beep buttons for those 2, but we'll try. Excellent defensive stand. And now Sengun going to work, drops it off, and a foul, and Thompson is going to the line.
Sengun, one of the best passing big men in the league, and Amen Thompson, a defensive wizard, but also one of the great cutters in the NBA.
Sengun coming off a terrific game 1 in his first ever playoff game, year 4 in the league. 26 points for the first time All-Star. And Thompson knocks down the first. Chance to remind you that the NBA on TNT is brought to you by the Kia Telluride X-Line. Kia, the official automotive partner of the NBA.
Well, and here's one of the challenges when you guard a non-shooter, a guy who's not a real stretch shooter like Amen Thompson, is you tend to relax on the weak side because you know you're not going to bring him off a pin down or anything, and he has learned to take advantage on the cuts.
Here's Curry, comes around the screen, buries the 3.
Well, that's the one screen they're not going to switch, is with Sengun, and so Moses Moody, very important as a screener, Not used to that role, but a great screen right there to get Curry free.
Green misses his first chance. We'll watch and see if Moody on those screens goes out beyond the line. He pops versus rolls. That's a big part of the story too for the Warriors, as we get a foul on Thompson. And Stephen Curry, he was brilliant in game one. He didn't have an open shot like that all night.
Well, that's how physical this series is going to be. And then we come the other way. This is the way this whole series will be.
Sengun with a rebound. Dillon Brooks guarded by Butler. And Brooks a little turnaround. Good.
That's a tough shot. But the Warriors doing a great job. Transition defense. One of the better running teams in the league. Houston got only 4 fast break points in game one.
Podziemski driving, trying to put some spin on it, missed it. Rockets want to push. Both teams great in transition. Green drops it off. Thompson with a two-handed jam.
Well, that's Green's second assist to Thompson on the exact same cut.
Steve Kerr wanted Moses Moody to let it fly, and he lets it fly and knocks in a 3.
I think both coaches probably pretty happy with how their teams have opened this game. They're seeing a lot of the things that they talked about. Jimmy Butler on Sengun tonight. Draymond Green's got to do a better job of Thompson on the cuts.
Sengun goes to the basket, help from Green, and now late clock here, and Moody locks him up in the corner, and it's going to be a shot clock violation, and Moses Moody is ready here for game 2, Coach.
Absolutely. Here, Moody does a great job. Gets a hand on that on Brooks. Doesn't give him a chance to get a shot up.
Again, Brooks on Jimmy Butler. Curry turns the corner, drives, kicks. Draymond Green for 3, comes up short.
But again, Curry able to get in the lane because of a great screen away from the ball by Moses Moody. Sengun is not going to switch.
Draymond Green. Green on Green inside to Sengun. He is a beast inside. Rockets are so much bigger and so much more athletic than the Warriors, and now they got to travel. Curry with a turnover.
Well, Curry's arguing this, but he was careless. Sengun just able to seal down deep. When he gets it that deep, there's nothing Moses Moody can do. He's either gonna score or you're gonna foul him.
Sengun with those 26 points, second most in a playoff debut in Rockets franchise history.
Well, they're gonna play him one-on-one. Draymond Green did a great job.
Oh, I saw that. Green took a shot. He had a swing at Dillon Brooks, got him in the back of the head. Check this out, Coach. Just as Brooks comes in right there. And
I think if Draymond Green had not done that, the foul would have gone on Brooks. He was certainly moving, but then Draymond Green was more egregious. He was egregious.
No love lost. You might remember Dillon Brooks, that 22 playoff series as a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. Very physical. Matter of fact, cost Gary Payton the rest of those playoffs. Warriors would go on and win the championship, matching up against the Celtics that year in the finals against Ime Udoka's Celtics. Van Vliet guarding Butler. Shot clock down to 7.
Manipulated to get to that matchup twice already.
Podziemski rises up. The lefty missed it. We got to keep an eye on Brandon Podziemski tonight. He is severely under the weather. Has hardly practiced the last 2 days. He came over to the table before the game, said he thought it was a serious bout of food poisoning, but he is not quite 100%. Sengun, offensive board, sets up Green, and Sengun's got another offensive board. This time Green drives. Draymond Green knocked it out of his hands, and the Rockets get a chance here. Brooks turnaround, no good, and it is Butler who secures it. Thompson going to be called for the foul, which will be his second here in the early going. Wow, what a start. Physical contest already. Rockets and Warriors. 5 NBA playoffs presented by Google. Well, Stan, this series has picked up right where it left off in game 1. It is going to be a gritty affair.
Now, all playoff series are more physical than the regular season, but none more so than this series. This is physical combat on every possession. And we've got more from Lauren Jabara.
Stan, Fred VanVleet, no stranger to that physicality in the playoffs. He told me the toughest part about it isn't the physicality, though. It's adjusting to how different the officiating is. He said it's just a different game. So that's, for some of the young guys on this team, that makes it a little bit more competitive and meaningful. And it's tough to figure out at first, but now some of those guys have that first experience under their belt. And then Thompson also told me, any chance I can get, I try to follow and talk to Fred, DB, read their emotions throughout the game. So if they're calm, there's no reason for me not to be calm too.
Good stuff, Lauren. Thank you. Got a turnover by the Warriors leading to a run out and a foul on Dillon Brooks. Saw that note. 17 of 19 the Warriors have won against Houston. Houston did deliver the Warriors' first loss with this particular starting 5 on the floor. Remember, Golden State, once they acquired Butler and got Podziemski back, they had won 14 straight. Rockets beat them for their first loss with that group. Starting 5 that only lost 3 games when they were all together.
Well, yeah, and 2 of those losses, Brian, Harrison Barnes hit an incredible game winner, a former Warrior, to win their second loss. And then the third loss was the regular season finale against the Clippers in overtime. So nobody was really handling this Warrior team.
Keep an eye here on Brandon Podziemski. Saw a shot of him on the bench, and he is not right, and I don't know how much he's going to be able to give Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr said he wants to play. We're going to put him in there, see if the adrenaline can take hold. But a sluggish start to this one as Moody wide open in the corner. That's a spot, and Moses Moody has ripped off 2 threes here in this first quarter. And 6 minutes into this game, Moody much more aggressive shooting the basketball. That's a 3 down for Tari Eason. First minutes on the floor. Eason out of LSU buries a triple in the corner. Şengün knocks it out of Curry's hands.
Well, Şengün's got really quick hands. Sort of reminiscent defensively of Jokic. Not great lateral quickness, but great hands, as we see right there. Very quick hands. He's a guy that averaged over a steal a game.
Quentin Post getting some early minutes here in the first quarter. Rockets lead by 8. And that's going to be a foul on the tie-up. Curry was trying to spring free. Dillon Brooks called for the foul. This is what Steve Kerr's been talking about. You can read his lips there, at least some of them. Every play they're grabbing Curry.
And you know what? Coaches will exaggerate and complain. I mean, I never did, but most of them will. But he's absolutely right. They were, the other night in game 1, grabbing and holding Curry on every possession.
Making it tough on Curry. Jalen Green knocks the ball out of his hands, forces a jump ball. And Curry not wanting to give up that basketball. Oh, man.
This series is 80s and 90s NBA basketball, BA. It is physical combat on every possession.
Curry having a hard time out on the perimeter. Şengün got him. Now Green with the strip. And they'll jump it at the center circle. Coach, these 2 teams met 5 times in the regular season. Not one of those games had a differential more than 10 points.
They're saying they're
possession
here.
They're
checking possession. I don't think they're going to give them possession. The Warriors are going to have 2 on the shot clock in the unlikely event that Steph Curry's able to win this jump ball.
Jalen Green, as much bounce as you get. Actually, Curry got a hand on that. And now they did grab possession. They restart the shot clock. Gary Payton II forces a Rockets turnover.
One of the best guys in the league getting loose balls. Moses Moody again shooting the 3 with Şengün sagging off. He's got to take that shot consistently in this series.
Inside, Şengün with Green guarding, and he stepped on the baseline.
And a great job by Draymond Green on the front. I think Quentin Post got to get a little bit more ball pressure on the passer here Yeah, Quinton Post has his hands down. When you're fronting the post, there has to be ball pressure on the passer to make that pass difficult. Quinton Post didn't have it there, but Draymond Green did a fantastic job.
Just those 3 made baskets for the Warriors. 2 of those by Moody. That's going to stay in the possession of Golden State. Houston won 3 out of the 5 this year in the regular season, despite all those close games. Game 1 was Sunday. 2 days off to bring us here to Wednesday, and then 2 more days off. Game 3 will be in San Francisco at Chase Center on Saturday. Dillon Brooks picks up his 2nd foul here in the last couple of minutes. And Draymond Green's going to the line, so that is an early story here in the first quarter.
Well, that's not a big surprise with these 2 guys. Brooks 4th in the league in personal fouls per game. Draymond Green 5th.
Enter for a chance to win NBA prizes at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Courtesy of Michelob Ultra Zero, 0 alcohol, 29 calories. You can try it today. Great to be back in Houston, Texas. We have not had a playoff game here since the 2019 season. The Rockets were last in the playoffs in 2020 in the bubble. Lost in the 2nd round that year, and then they had a few years down at the bottom of the standings. Ime Udoka gets the job last year. They finished 500, and then this year 52 wins. Nice setup inside as Eason on a pass from Şengün.
Another one of those great versatile European big men, Şengün. We've seen him in the post.
Payton goes to the basket.
We've seen this pass. Şengün, look at this, eyes up, lob to Tari Eason, hurting the Warriors on those baseline cuts here in the first quarter.
Gary Payton II is clutching at his right shoulder. That's been the last 5 years for the Rockets since their playoff run in 2020. It was a mess the year after the 2020 season when they started the rebuild.
Well, and it's an obvious foul. He gets pushed from behind
On that
by
right arm.
Jalen Green, and no call. The referees didn't see it. Steve Kerr still irate on the sideline, and I don't blame him on that one. He's going to take time out and continue to vent his frustration.
He walks right to David Guthrie, the crew chief. Houston Rockets up 9. Good start for Houston on their home floor, trying to even the series at 1 apiece.
Here we go. Hey, keep playing through the contact, physicality. Don't worry, they're not going to call anything. Play through it. Don't get caught up in that. Keep the turnovers low. Keep them out transition. We're good.
State Farm Audio Assist. 2nd-year head coach here of the Rockets, Ime Udoka. He's been through these wars before with the Boston Celtics, and he knows that this is his kind of game and his kind of series. He did recognize that, you know, he's got 5 players in his rotation all competing for the first time in the playoffs. He said they just needed to feel that. They needed to feel what physical playoff basketball feels like, and he is very much expecting his young players to respond here in game 2.
Yeah, and look, it's a very physical series. The Warriors sort of unnerved by it right now. Very upset at the officiating as Şengün, he hit a 3 the other night, but he's really struggled from 3. Hadn't made one since the middle of March until the other night.
Shoots it at just 23% from beyond the arc. Butler back on the floor and drives and scores on Tari Eason.
And he thought he got fouled there. The Warriors have to be careful, though. Steve Kerr irate right now. We saw it with the Knicks in the Detroit series the other night. They got so wrapped up in the officiating. I thought it took away from the Knicks. The Warriors have to stay with it and play the game.
Tell you, Jalen Green gives you an idea what kind of talent he is. Curry with a 3-pointer, no good. Jabari Smith, first minutes on the floor for him. 3rd-year man out of Auburn.
And Fred VanVleet got knocked down on that rebound. We should keep track of knockouts or knockdowns tonight like they do in boxing. He got up way before the 8 count, though.
Hurries and knockdowns like in the NFL. Well, how about this move right here?
Wow.
Quick cross. He left post in the dust and just explodes to the basket for the two-handed jam. Jalen Green been in a shooting slump. Last 4 games shooting just 21% from the field. Just 2 of 11 from three-point range. He's really struggled against the Warriors all year as well, even going back to last season.
Well, one of the things that happens, though, is the Rockets had that second seed clinched, and so Jalen Green played limited minutes in the last 3 games, and you sort of at times lose your rhythm a little bit.
Great call. Curry got himself some room, and from the baseline, he was standing behind the backboard when he shot that ball and able to knock it down. He
Over a 6'10" guy.
Trick shot artist. Podziemski back on the floor. Let's keep an eye on him. That one, oh, look out. Wow, Butler goes down hard. Thompson comes underneath Butler. He was bumped as well, and Jimmy Butler's legs went right out from under him. Straight contact on the floor.
Listen, this series is incredible as far as the physicality. Every rebound is contested. Every pass is contested. Unbelievable.
Thompson is up. Jimmy Butler is not. I mean, he was up there high, and that tailbone took the brunt of that fall.
I mean, just look at this. Podziemski holding on to Steven Adams. A battle there. Both guys down. This is not a game for the faint of heart.
It's good to see Butler on his feet, but he is not moving well. Yeah, his legs just got clipped.
Now, that's Amin Thompson's 3rd foul. I think he got pushed into that a little bit by Draymond Green, but that's going to be his 3rd. And Aaron Holiday is going to come into the game. Look, Aaron Holiday didn't play the other night, has not played a ton lately, but in February, and this was when Jimmy Butler was there, Fred VanVleet was out, Aaron Holiday started and had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists in that game against Golden State. So this is a very capable guy.
Butler misses the first, still moving gingerly. Keith Santos is going to pick up Curry here. Well, the Butler effect in full effect. 23-7 the record. The Warriors with Jimmy Butler. When Butler and Curry played together, they were 22-5. #1 defensive rating. You see where they rank in all those major defensive categories. It unlocked every player. And I'd say maybe more than just what we see on the numbers and the analytics, the spirit of the Warriors, like you pointed out, was raised. They believe they can win now that Butler is here.
Absolutely. You got to understand that Steph Curry and Draymond Green are championship level guys as Smith knocks down a jumper. But Curry and Green know what a championship team looks like. And as much as they tried to say the right things the last couple of years, they knew they weren't quite at that level. When they got Jimmy Butler, they knew they had a chance, and everybody raised their game.
Podziemski misses a 3. Santos going to be called for the loose ball foul on the push. His first minutes on the floor coming in for Curry. Butler is going to the bench now, and he is limping badly.
Yes, he is.
Took a right on the tailbone as he hit the hardwood. And I think he's going to be going to the locker room.
Well, you're not going to see many minutes with Butler and Curry both out of the game, and Draymond Green also out. So they're 3 main guys with all that experience, all out of the game right now. And we're going to see if the Rockets can take advantage.
Jalen Green fires up a 3, missed it. And that one bounces out of bounds. Warriors ball.
Good job by Buddy Hield there to block out and not let them get to the loose ball.
No telling where the residuals of that impact with the wood for Jimmy Butler when he hit the ground, where it shows up in his back. Also hit his elbow.
Not much scoring on the floor here. This is what they need, Buddy Hield, to get going. There's not a lot of places to go for Steve Kerr with the lineup he has on the floor right now offensively.
Tari Eason gets by Moody, drives. Wow, what a finish. Tari Eason played 21 minutes in game one, had just the 6 points. Santos misses a 3, and now the Rockets up 10. Their biggest lead. Holiday going to work and comes up short. Kevon Looney with Santos and Podziemski. This is a makeshift lineup for Steve Kerr right now, and Looney's first attempt misses badly.
And we got Jonathan Kuminga at the scorers table. Didn't play in game one, didn't play in the play-in, has been out of the rotation, even though on the year he's the Warriors' third leading scorer. And we're going to see him in the game.
Smith lost it out of bounds. I thought he got hit in the head on the way to the basket.
Well, he definitely got fouled, but this is, Ime Udoka's going to challenge the out-of-bounds call. He knows the ball was off Jalen Green, but they can look at this play and come back and say that he got fouled, and that's why Ime Udoka's going to challenge.
Houston is challenging the ruling on the floor of out-of-bounds Golden State ball.
Well, Ime Udoka challenges this call, thinking maybe there's a foul on Jalen Green, against Jalen Green. There's 3 guys there. I don't see anything. I would have been with Ime Udoka, naked eye. I thought he got fouled. I'm not so sure on the replay. My guess is it's going to be an unsuccessful challenge.
Again, you made a great point. Udoka knows what he officially challenged was the ball out of bounds. He knows Green touched it last, but they can look at the whole sequence of the play on this replay sequence. And I'm with you, Coach. You know, naked eye, the way he threw the head, you thought he may have taken a shot to the head, but unless it's clear and convincing, they're not going to overturn this call.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. I don't think so. I think David Guthrie's, well, we've got Courtney Kirkland took the headset off. David Guthrie still got his on. And then he'll give us the announcement. David, one of the better announcers on the officiating crew.
He'll let us know. Got to get camera ready.
After replay review, there's clear and conclusive evidence that there's contact to the arm by Santos to the shooter, Green. Therefore, the challenge will be successful. Green will shoot 2 shots. Houston retains their second challenge.
So credit Ime Udoka.
And there, oh, look at this camera work. Perfect. There's the foul right there. Guy Santos. Wow, our camera crew was right on that one, Brian.
And that was part of the replay sequence. The officials had it at their advantage as well. So Green was right all along, and he'll go to the line. 2-shot foul here with the Rockets up 10 points in this first quarter. This was a 95-85 game one. Very low scoring affair. Hey, you can earn badges to win prizes with the NBA ID Playoffs Challenge. Members in the U.S. and Canada who complete the challenge get the chance at a trip to the NBA Draft. Play now on the NBA app or at NBA.com/ID.
Steph Curry back on the floor for the Warriors' final offensive possession of the quarter, at least presumably their last offensive possession. Fred VanVleet on him.
Jonathan Kuminga getting his first minute since April 11th. Kuminga goes right to the basket, missed it. You would imagine he's dealing with a lot of rust Buddy Hield now. Shot clock is off. Hield gets by Smith. Hield off the window.
Well, he'll deserve that because he's the one that created the second opportunity with the foul. And that's going to be a travel.
Sure
on
is.
Jalen Green. And I don't know what kind of time they're going to put back on the clock, but the Warriors can get another possession here. Not a smart play by Jalen Green, honestly, to try to get off a 75-foot shot. Yeah, there's no question on that one. And they're going to talk about time now. Now they're going to stay, it looks like, at .3.
Kuminga will put it in. 10-point game. Now Curry's going to be the inbounder here.
Well, I'd love that because he can't be the shooter now.
Just got to put it near the rim and get a quick oop, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Rockets impressive in the first, handled the physicality well. They've responded, and they lead by 10. Warriors and Rockets, the 7-2 matchup in the West. You're watching the first round, presented by NerdWallet. Let's see who's enjoying the limelight, presented by Corona. How about Steve Kerr, his 100th playoff win? He's at the top of the heap as far as winning percentage among head coaches in NBA history. Moments ago, Lauren Jabara with Steve Kerr.
Coach, I know you're still waiting for news on Jimmy, but how do you adjust without him in your rotation for the time being?
Well, we'll put Jonathan in, and, we know he can play well against these guys, and we'll be able to attack the rim a little bit, and we'll see what we can do.
This is a very physical series. How do you maintain continuity and rhythm with the amount of physicality that's out there tonight?
Yeah, Houston's a great defense, very physical team, so that's a big part of the equation in this series. We've got to handle it.
We appreciate it.
Pat Spencer lays it in. That's part of Steve Kerr's plan here. He's in full ad-lib mode now. This is a Warriors team that Stan used so many different lineups and combinations prior to Jimmy Butler arriving. So this is not new for them, but it's also not something they've had to deal with in a while. And if you're just joining us, Jimmy Butler took a hard spill, landed on his backside, and has gone to the Warriors locker room. Lauren is back there awaiting a report as Dylan Brooks hits a tough shot. And Green throws an elbow. Post drops Steven Adams. You could almost call something every time down the floor.
Well, here it is, a battle inside.
Adams hits the deck. Brooks jumped right in Green's way. Yep.
I mean, this is very hard to officiate. I mean, just very hard because there's something, like you said, Brian, on every play. That's going to be Dylan Brooks' third foul, though.
And then Thompson has 3. Brooks picks up his 3rd.
Well, Dylan Brooks, look, you love his combativeness, the competitiveness he brings to the game, but he's got to be smart. They need him on the floor. And it looks like that's going to be the only call on the play, is just a foul on Dylan Brooks. And we see Pat Spencer in the game. You know what's interesting is Steve Kerr thought he played Steph Curry too many minutes the other night, so he has him out. If the Warriors were down a game in this series with Jimmy Butler out, we would have seen Steph Curry back in the game doing less rest, but he has a little margin for error. Both teams, by the way, open in this quarter in zone defense.
Turnover, Golden State. So some housekeeping here. Post and Adams got double techs. And then a common foul on Dylan Brooks in that last sequence. 3rd foul on Brooks. You got Şengün and Adams on the floor, the 2 bigs, and Kuminga able to force the turnover.
Yeah, the Adams-Şengün double big lineup was dominant during the regular season when they played for Houston, and they create another turnover here. But the other night, the Warriors outscored them by 4 in their 11 minutes in the game. Did you see what they did in the regular season?
Van Vliet can't get it to go. Back tap. That's going to be a whistle. And it's going to be a loose ball foul on Houston. Şengün asking for a challenge. Ime Udoka's already used one of his challenges, which was successful. Not going to use it here. 2 minutes into the second quarter, he'd be out. 10-point game. Wow, this is some game here.
Well, this is not a lineup that Steve Kerr anticipated using in game 2 at Houston. And we see the Rockets back in this zone. They get extended pretty well. The Warriors want to screen those guards as much as they can against the zone. And then Şengün all the way out. Good look for Hield.
Van Vliet in transition. And Şengün patient. Missed it. Ball is loose. Volleyball's in. Tari Eason raising his hand. He said, make sure you give me those 2 points.
Well, that's Rockets basketball right there.
Spencer drives, puts up a wild shot. Too much size in there.
Well, the Warriors right now are a little out of balance. Their offense revolves around Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Neither one in the game. These guys all have different roles to play.
Rockets already plus 12 in the rebounding category, and Şengün gets inside. Timeout. Steve Kerr, 14-point Houston lead. Butler is in the locker room. The Rockets are taking advantage with their talented Alperen Şengün.
To center, Houston up 34-20. Now earlier in the first quarter, we saw Jimmy Butler come down hard on his tailbone. He went back to the locker room shortly after. I'm still waiting word on his condition right now, but I do have an update on Brandon Podziemski. His return questionable to tonight's game. He was not feeling well heading into today. Questionable to return tonight, you guys.
Boy, this is turning into a mess for Steve Kerr. Coach Van Gundy, he's already played 12 players. We got 9:18 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, no question. This is not a lineup he ever anticipated having on the floor. But look, with Houston's only shooting 42%, they're 2 for 9 from 3, and they have 6 turnovers. But this is how Houston wins.
Post.
With their defense and rebounding, and they're holding the Warriors to 31% and out-rebounding them 19-7, and they have as many offensive rebounds as Golden State has defensive rebounds. This is Houston Rockets basketball.
Ime Udoka basketball as well. He brought that toughness when he arrived here prior to last season. Got this team back to 500, then a terrific year this year. That guy is special. Alperen Şengün, a flurry of moves, a spin, and a layup. The 22-year-old from Turkey.
Look at this. What skill right there and footwork. Great spin between 2 guys, and then the left hand off the glass.
It's an 8-0 Houston run. Rockets had so many blowout wins in the regular season this year. Big run at home this season. They won 14 of their last 18 home games in the regular season. They hadn't had more than 14 home wins overall in any of the last 3 seasons. They had that great run to finish the year, and they need a home win tonight to even up this series at 1 apiece. And Green turns it over. 17-point Rockets lead, and it's all going Houston's way here in the second quarter.
Well, and again, we showed it earlier, the 2 big man lineup of the Houston Rockets, which was absolutely dominant in the regular season, was not in game 1, but it's taken over here in game 2.
Tari Eason, oh, what a start he's off to. Eason with 12 first-half points in just 8 minutes. A 20-point Houston lead. Eason, it's his second 3. Lauren Jabara has an update for us momentarily on Butler as Kuminga drives in, turnaround, no good. Take it away, Lauren, what do you have?
Yeah, just heard from the Warriors PR staff, things getting worse for the Warriors right now. Jimmy Butler with a pelvis contusion will not return to the game tonight.
That's big news. Thank you, Lauren. Good hustle there. Saw Mike Dunleavy walking out of that Warriors locker room as well. Jabari Smith for 3, missed it, and Draymond Green with a rebound.
It's going to be tough for the Warriors, obviously, to get back into this game.
Well, this could be Kuminga's night, at least to knock some rust off and get some points on the board. He has not played in a while. He's been out of the rotation. Pat Spencer getting minutes. Kuminga his first minutes. Remember, there are 2 days off before they resume in this series on Saturday. Sengun lost the handle. And Curry out of the pack. Spencer all the way in, lays it up and in with the left hand.
Great finish, and Draymond Green and Tari Eason square off for a second there.
Rockets lead is 15. Rockets only scored 34 points in the first half in game one, already with 40. Sengun can't get that one to go.
That one was lucky by the Warriors. I think you've got to meet Sengun earlier and with some physicality.
Post to the basket. Oh! Met by Jabari Smith. What a block. Oh.
Well, this Houston Rocket team doesn't ever give up on a play. Ime Udoka has made this into a relentless defense.
Eason, one of the great defenders in the league. Tied for the Rockets lead in steals this year, and it's 6'8". Gives him a lot of length. He is scoring tonight as well. That's the news. Jimmy Butler, Lauren just gave you, pelvis contusion, will not return. Podziemski is questionable return. He was questionable to start this game as well. Tried to give it a go. Podziemski, who's dealing with an illness, played just 8 minutes and did not score. Was 0 for 3. Curry, guarded by Eason. And now Spencer gets in the paint and scores it.
How about Pat Spencer coming in and giving them 6 points on 3 for 4. He took the one wild shot, but working to get to the rim and trying to help this Warrior team stay in the game.
And a 7-0 run here for Golden State. After the Rockets led by 20, Van Vliet gets Kuminga on his back. So savvy, picks up the foul. Free throws for Fred Van Vliet. And we remind you that tonight from Houston, the NBA on TNT is brought to you by the Hyundai Customer Assurance. Putting people first when affordability matters most.
Well, Fred Van Vliet shooting his first free throws of the series. He struggled from the floor. He's only taken 1 shot today, but 4 for 20 in the series and 2 for 14 from 3. But this is a guy, they were 41 and 19 when they had him this year, and only 11 and 11 when he was out. They need his leadership, his defense, his experience, and he certainly provided that for them all year long.
Well, that old saying, raises all boats. He certainly does. Van Vliet with that championship pedigree with the Toronto Raptors in 2019. And you look at the 3 big pieces, the veteran pieces that the Rockets brought in with Fred Van Vliet, Dylan Brooks, and Steven Adams. I mean, you want some grit, some toughness to surround these talented young players, and they hit it right on the head. Rockets have drafted well all those down years. They got the right head coach, and now they have the right complement of players. The roster fits well.
Well, and again, you mentioned it earlier, BA, but these are Ime Udoka type players. Physical and tough. Steven Adams, Fred Van Vliet, Dylan Brooks.
Pat Spencer running with Looney. Spencer will take it himself. Looney there with a follow.
Well, Looney, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league per minute, 4th. Steven Adams, the best offensive rebounder and total rebounds in the league per minute, but that was created by Pat Spencer. He's got 3 buckets, but his drive drew the help and set up Looney.
And he fouls Green. Jalen Green will go to the line to shoot 2. It's off to a nice start today. They needed it. He knocked down the 3. He's got 7 points, 4 assists in his first 13 minutes on the floor. And he's back at the line. Knocked down his first 2 free throws. Jalen Green in the regular season shot at over 81% from the free throw line.
He really improved his shooting this year. That was a career high. He had shot a career high from 3 at 35%.
Sengun back on the floor. Hey, don't forget, NBA playoff schedule tomorrow. Clippers and Nuggets on NBA TV. And then Friday, ESPN takes over with Celtics, Magic, Lakers, Wolves, Pacers, Bucks. Go to NBA.com, visit the NBA app for more.
Well, that Nuggets Clippers series that we had the other day, so far in the first round, the best series going. Overtime in game one, a Denver win and a 3-point Clipper win on an incredible night from Kawhi Leonard in game two.
Yeah, Kawhi had 39 points on just 19 field goal attempts. Only missed 3 shots. Here's Kuminga out, 3-pointer, no good, and Adams up high for the rebound. Rockets up 15 points, under 5 minutes in this second quarter.
Ime Udoka going right back to that two-big lineup that was so dominant in the regular season.
Green, step back 3, got it! Up and over Looney. Confidence starting to build here for Jalen Green. He had to endure it for a couple of days. Very sluggish game one. Nice pass by Curry to Keith Santos.
Well, that's incredible. Curry around Steven Adams in the blitz. Steven Adams not having quite the lateral quickness to keep up. And then a left-handed pass off the dribble to Keith Santos on a great baseline cut.
Right in the pocket too, right where Santos wanted. Again, Green, step back on its way, no good. Spencer with a rebound. You see how shifty Jalen Green is. What an athlete. Warriors get into their set here. Under 4 minutes to go. Santos thought about it. Remembered he's got Curry on the floor. And now Curry goes to work and can't get the roll. Looney is there for the rebound. Spencer for 3. Oh, he called glass.
He didn't call glass, and I maintain a rule change. If you're going to bank it in from above the free throw line on a 3-point shot, you have to call it or the referee waves it off.
9 points in the quarter for Pat Spencer. Just got converted off his 2-way contract in March as Şengün drives and is fouled. Şengün is a handful.
Well, again, a great spin, great ball handling skills, and incredible footwork. Look at this. Spinning baseline. Not so sure about that one. I think he lost his balance on his own.
Got the benefit of the call as it'll be side out, not a shooting foul here as we send it over to Lauren.
I asked Ime Udoka about Alperen Şengün, and he said he has a confidence about himself, and we do too. Every night, no matter who he's matched up against, whether it's Green or anyone else, we do not shy away from that. He said, we feel like it's an advantage. We can move him all over the floor, put him in pick and rolls, make him a playmaker, and he's really effective. And he had a great game last game, and the antics got to him a little bit, so he just picked up right where he left off, guys.
Well, and the Warriors coming right out there. I love the move by Steve Kerr against this double big lineup after the last foul. They took a foul here away from the ball on Steven Adams, which you can do before the last 2 minutes of the quarter. Steven Adams, a 46% free throw shooter, but he goes to the line here and makes the first one. The hack of Adams, if you will.
Steve Kerr is deploying everything he can think of right now. Jimmy Butler out of this game, will not return. And that one's in and out, and Looney and Şengün get tied up. And the loose ball foul is going to belong to Looney. Or is it Şengün?
It's going to be on
Şengün, I beg your pardon.
And that's going to be Şengün's second.
So it'll be Warriors ball.
Well, and they're going to get, Ime Udoka is going to get Steven Adams out of the game, anticipating that the Warriors will go right back to just fouling Steven Adams. And then you can expect him maybe to bring Steven Adams back in the last 2 minutes where you can foul, but not away from the ball intentionally like that.
Santos and Looney cuts, and Looney is fouled.
And that's going to be Şengün's third.
Coach, I want to ask you about the way this game is going, and Steve Kerr clearly mucking up this game as best he can now, minus Podziemski and Butler. As far as game plan, strategy, what you think's going to happen. Again, the Rockets are a very young team, and they're being hit with a lot of waves of things that they were not expecting.
No, but both these coaches throwing everything out there. The two big lineup by Ime Udoka, different matchups, putting your center on Moody, which the Warriors expected. And now, like you said, Steve Kerr today just trying to pull out anything. Went to the hack of Adams to try to make it tough, trying to find lineups that work. Pat Spencer coming in to the game who hasn't played. You're doing everything you can in a playoff series, and give the Warriors credit. They're hanging in this game. Down 13, but there's still a lot of time, and hoping to get this thing under 10 by the half.
A lot of guys out of the rotation, but have been key figures for the Warriors the last few years. Guys like Looney and Kuminga.
And they're saying Podziemski's questionable, but he hasn't come back yet. I don't think we're going to see him.
Green drives. Oh, what a play by Kuminga. And gets it right back. Şengün goes to the basket and a foul. Şengün's going to the line here. That'll take us to a timeout. Rockets free throws when we come back. Time to fight for victory, presented by Modelo. Young Rockets, all in their first playoff series. These 5 in the rotation. You see their scoring average throughout the regular year. Jalen Green at the top of that list. Stan, we got free throws coming here for Houston, and an odd sequence that ended in a Guy Santos foul.
Yeah, I mean, just great effort by Looney and Kuminga, and then Guy Santos, for some reason, gets in a hurry and doesn't come down with the ball, passes it to Şengün, and then fouls him rather than staying vertical. It's not all about effort. That's his 4th foul. The Warriors' effort has been great, trying to overcome the Rockets team, you know, and they've got fewer than 16 minutes out of Jimmy Butler and Brandon Podziemski combined, but you have no margin for error right now, and that is 9 Warriors turnovers. That's hard to survive anyway, but without 2 of your best players, going to be very, very difficult.
Şengün at the line, and his first miss at the line. Şengün 7 points in 17 minutes, but affecting the game in so many other ways. He's got 5 rebounds, a couple of assists. He's got 2 steals.
I mean, we talked about it earlier, but Houston up 14 right now. They're only shooting 42% from the floor and 30% from 3. They're winning it on the glass and with their defense, which is the way they've won games all year.
Looney guarded by Şengün. And Payton, oh, he missed the dunk. He lost it. Gary Payton, a high flyer. Had one right in front of him.
Yeah, Gary Payton II doesn't miss too many dunks.
Here's Green now. Dumps it back in to get the switch they want. Van Vliet calling for it. He lets it fly. And no. And it's going to be an offensive rebound. Rockets dominating on the glass. Now Green for 3. No good. Hield with the board. Curry up ahead. Kuminga flying. Kuminga lays it in.
Well, the Warriors outscored Houston 16-4 in transition in game 1. Buddy Hield gets a delay of game warning. But this is the Warriors' chance right now. With those 2 guys out, they've got to defend and rebound and get out in transition. Easier said than done. And as I predicted, Steven Adams going to come back in under the 2-minute mark, where you can't just grab him away from the ball.
Şengün for 3.
Interesting, Şengün had not made a single 3 since March the 19th, and he's made 1 in each game now.
Buddy Hield with an answer.
This Warrior team still fighting down 12. Love to get it under 10 by the half.
Adams soon to be checking back in. Van Vliet shakes Hield, and Van Vliet's got another answer. So exchanging 3s the last 3 trips. And now the all-time 3-point king with the ball in his hands. He puts it up. He's fouled. Beg your pardon, not a foul. It goes.
No, you were right.
I thought he was fouled.
No, you were right. He was fouled. David Guthrie just didn't call it. You were right. David Guthrie was wrong, but that's okay.
Wow, exchange of 3s here. This is Green. Another one. Wow. 5 in a row. Back and forth they go.
Well, if Houston's going to make even a few 3s, There's no chance for the Warriors to beat them as Steph Curry makes another one.
Home run derby breaking out here at the end of the first half.
Let's have some fun.
6 straight possessions with 3-pointers. 3 apiece. Rockets by 12. Shot clock down to 9. Inside Şengün. He'll take it himself, flat-footed. Gets the bounce.
The Warriors got a little confused as Looney rotated back. He thought Kuminga was going to pick up Şengün, and he left to go to the weak side.
Again, Curry going to work. Green on him. Behind the back, doubled. Ball's loose. On the ground. Jump ball. Şengün came at the right time, and Green stayed with it. Second time Green has been able to force a jump ball with Stephen Curry.
Boy, I really wish we could have guarded like this when I had to coach against Steph Curry. He just put his left arm around his hip on that play and took him down. Yeah. I go back to KCP used to have to guard him, and KCP was great on him, but if he could have done this, it would have been a lot easier.
Sounds like you got a little trauma.
Oh, no, I do. PTSD. Looking at Steph Curry. I get PTSD on a lot of nights looking at all these guards that I couldn't figure out a way to limit.
So the second jump ball tonight between Jalen Green and Stephen Curry. Rockets lead it by 14 points here. 5 seconds and change separating shot and game clock. Green back in to be the disruptor, certainly doing that. He's been trying to get Tari Eason agitated. To Eason's credit, he has kept his calm with Draymond Green on a few occasions.
If there's not a fight in this series, BA, that'll be a bigger upset than anything else that could happen in the playoffs.
Rockets fans letting Draymond Green know how they feel about him.
And he's encouraging them, as he usually does.
Ball is loose, and it's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be Golden State ball with 9 to shoot. Steve Kerr is going to bring on Post and Hield, his 2 3-point shooters.
We got 3 guys exiting the game. Draymond Green finally realizes he's still going to be in.
So 11.5 remaining in the second quarter.
And we've seen the 2 big lineup from Houston, now the no big lineup, and they're going to switch every screen here. You can bet on that.
9 on the shot clock. 2.5 seconds separate. Van Vliet guarding Curry. Here comes Green to help him. Curry goes to the basket, fakes a pass, and can't get the layup. Rockets have a chance at the last one. Holiday fires, and that'll take us to the end of a gritty, grimy first half of basketball. 60-46, Rockets lead it by 14. Şengün, 13 points, 11 in the quarter. Curry goes for 11. Jimmy Butler out of this game the rest of the way, however. Rockets and Warriors in this 2-7 matchup in the West. Halftime in Houston. You're watching the first round presented by NerdWallet.
Straight out the gate, boy. Let's get another one. Come on. Play! You see that?
Thanks to Draymond Green wearing the microphone for us tonight. And we welcome you back, Brian Anderson, with Stan Van Gundy. And Coach, the Rockets, we asked the question to start the broadcast, how would they respond after game 1? Well, they put up 60 points in the first half. They had 85 the entire game in game 1.
Right, but really what's happened is it's been their defense and rebounding on both ends of the floor. They're plus 12 on the glass. They're only shooting 43.5%. But they did go on a flurry of threes there late in the second quarter.
Let's check in with Lauren Jabara from the Warriors locker room. What do you have, Lauren?
Thanks, B. I talked to Steve Kerr, and he said, look, I think the main thing is we just have to throw a lot of bodies at them. Obviously, make up for the loss of Jimmy and Brandon Podziemski. He said we have to do it with our depth, and we just have to keep playing. He said mentally, I think, and the guys think that we should be able to come back in this one. Also, another update on Jimmy Butler. He will be getting an MRI tomorrow again. He is out with that pelvis contusion after coming down on it hard in that first quarter.
Jimmy Butler only played 8 minutes. Good reporting there, Lauren. Thanks for the hustle. Brandon Podziemski, an illness, played just 8 minutes as well. So it's Payton and Post who get the starts for the Warriors in the second half, joining Curry, Green, and Moody. Foul on the first possession. Now Jalen Green, he's been a big story, and Green knocks down a three. Coach, he's got 18. That's his 4th made three-pointer.
And that is a great pass cross court from Alperen Sengun.
Jalen Green in 30-plus minutes had just 7 points, did not make a three, was 0 for 4 in game 1. He has responded in a big way here in game 2. Payton in the corner, missed it, and there's Van Vliet with a rebound.
Now Moody passed up a three, in my opinion, should have shot.
Jalen Green, back iron, bouncing rebound to Curry. Post, he can shoot it, sets up in transition, no good. And an offensive rebound by Payton. Sengun out on Moody. Green looking for Curry. No, he finds Payton. Extra pass out to Post. Missed another three. Moody and Sengun grappling at Sengun with the rebound. That's his 8th.
Well, Post has had 2 really good looks. The Warriors are going to have a chance. Guys like him have to knock down open shots.
Houston trying to even up this series at 1 apiece as they go to San Francisco for game 3 Saturday, and Green taking over. He's got 19 now.
He's got 19, and the Rockets lead by 19.
I beg your pardon, he's got 20. I shortchanged him one. 20 points in 19 minutes for Jalen Green. Payton guarded by Brooks, who had 3 fouls in the first half. Brooks with the block.
Brooks will probably be an all-defensive team guy.
Defensive Player of the Year will be announced tomorrow. Draymond Green is one of the finalists. Gives him a little offense in the corner.
Well, if you remember that last game of the regular season, that Clipper game that went to overtime, Draymond Green hit 4 threes in that game, 4 for 6. Hasn't shot it well as the year's gone on from 3, but certainly capable.
Sengun. And that extra pass to Brooks in the corner. Curry. 11 first half points for Curry. No look out to Moody. And Moody misses that one. So Moses Moody, now 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. Came out early, was firing, hit a couple of threes in the first quarter. Has not made one since. Be interested to see what Steve Kerr does. You heard Lauren mention he's got to go deeper into his rotation. He played 12 guys in the first half. We saw a lot of Pat Spencer and Jonathan Kuminga getting his first minutes of the playoffs. Curry, a little hesitation, and able to score it.
What a great move right there. Stop, little shot fake, and then just touch it off the glass.
Curry with 13. He's hit 3 threes.
And he's also got 4 rebounds and 6 assists.
Van Vliet to the corner. Ben Thompson, who picked up those 3 fouls early, and now Van Vliet on the reset. No good. Sengun is there with a follow.
Another double-double for Alperen Sengun.
Steve Kerr wants to talk it over. Rockets by 16 here, just underway in quarter number 3 of game 2. All right, Stan, let's check out a play worth saving presented by Ally Bank. Jalen Green has arrived in these playoffs.
Yeah, he's got a lot of plays worth saving tonight. Made 4 threes after going 0 for 4 from the arc in game 1. It came in a little bit of a mini slump. He's out of that now, and that bodes well for the Rockets for the rest of this series.
Exercising a couple of demons, a shooting slump recently, and poor shooting against the Golden State Warriors over a stretch of games as well. But just 7 points in game one. He's got 20 tonight. And we're just 4 minutes into this third quarter. Brandon Podziemski making his way back to the bench. He's been out with an illness. And we'll see how the Warriors can regroup with personnel. Jimmy Butler will not return. Butler's going to get an MRI tomorrow on that tailbone, as Lauren reported. Three-pointer by Post.
Well, they need a lot more of those right now. I mean, they are undermanned. The Warriors go to their zone. It starts by looking like a 1-3-1. Moody's actually the guy who will come out as the second guard in the zone, but he starts at the free throw line.
Here's Brooks, catch and shoot, missed it. And that's going to be Golden State ball. I'll tell you what, if you're the Warriors and you can push the Rockets here, knowing that they are young, they're in their first playoff series, many of them. And if you can get a little tension brewing with the Rockets on their home court, clearly the underdog right now, but you got that guy. Curry misses a three. Thompson flying high for the rebound. And then Thompson gives it up. Brooks takes Post in the paint and scores it. Shooter's touch.
Okay. That was a nice touch. I don't know if I'd say shooter's touch with Dillon Brooks. And I love the guy as a player, but shooter's touch, not so sure.
Curry did not get the shooter's touch on that leg. Wow, look at that Euro. And now Brooks for three.
All right.
Shooter's touch,
Shooter's
coach.
touch. Well, Dillon Brooks, to be quite honest, I might have undersold him. He's had 2 or more three-pointers in 9 straight games.
Hey, he shot at 39.7% from three-point range this year, as Draymond Green able to hit a three in the corner.
Draymond Green only shot 29% from 3 after coming over. And Dillon Brooks, after Jimmy Butler came over with Green, but Dillon Brooks going to get called on an offensive foul here. And that's his 4th.
Yeah, played with 3 in that first half. Officials are coming together here, asking if the shot went in. It's a kick out on the foul.
Yeah, nobody challenged it, so there's not going to be a change in the call, and we know the ball didn't go in. Wouldn't have mattered, wouldn't have counted.
Hey, Podziemski's back in, so
I'm shocked by that.
Yep.
He wasn't ready to start the second half, but you bring him back in now. I think Steve Kerr wanted to see how it goes. He probably is looking right now and said, hey, we got a shot to get back in this game.
he has been dealing with food poisoning. Those were his words. Asked him before the game if it was an illness. He goes, no, I think I got a bad meal and I'm trying to recover from it. Here's Post for 3, cash.
But you got to see the screen there by Stephen Curry. That is just smart basketball. He just ran a back cut, set the screen on Şengün, and got Post wide open, and Post knocked it in.
Post, the rookie, playing his first playoff series. Thompson, no good. Şengün, offensive rebound. And it's going to be Eason. He's met at the rim. Post and Draymond Green. Green got the block.
And Draymond Green had something to say about it to Tari Eason.
Podziemski, short. Jalen Green with a rebound. Eason drives, kicks. Jalen Green got another one. Big shot for Green and the Rockets.
Steph Curry hitting himself in the head. There's no way he should have sunk that low. Draymond Green had him. He knows he should have stayed out on Jalen Green. Not happy with himself.
5 threes for Jalen Green. 8 in the quarter for Jalen Green. Podziemski, full mid-range, missed it. Podziemski coming on, trying to give it all he's got here, but he is now 0 for 5.
Oh, nice adjustment there by Ime Udoka. Put Şengün on Kuminga instead of Quentin Post.
Green had it perfectly online, just too strong. Kuminga. Jalen Green on him. Couple of high-level athletes going at it here. Kuminga gets inside, missed it. And that's going to be Rockets ball. 15-point Houston lead with the ball. Take a look at our FanDuel live point spread for tonight's game. Started at 3.5. It has swelled to 14.5. The Jimmy Butler news and the big lead. The Rockets at one point had a 20-point lead. They have led the entire way here in game 2.
Well, Ime Udoka just throwing a lot of lineups with this Warrior team as Jalen Green scores. We've seen the two bigs together, and now we see no bigs on the floor.
Green's got 25 as Kuminga hits a 3.
Jabari Smith is the center. Interestingly, I think Udoka goes to this lineup to try to take away threes, knowing that's the Warriors' way to fight back. Can switch all the screens with this lineup.
Post now guarding Jalen Green. Green dancing with him. Green gonna have to shoot over him. Little fadeaway is short, and Draymond Green with a rebound, and that's gonna be a foul on Eason. Podziemski hits the deck. Draymond Green just trying to help Sean Corbin.
Well, he is a helpful guy.
Eason with the shove here. Podziemski sold it hard and got the foul on Eason. You look at these three officials tonight, Stan. I mean, you mentioned that this has got to be one of the toughest matchups to officiate. But David Guthrie, Courtney Kirkland, and Sean Corbin. David Guthrie has the least amount of experience of the three, and he's got 20 years in the NBA, including 11 NBA Finals games.
And this is his 112th playoff game, and he's the least experienced guy.
The NBA made sure the veterans were on this one. Courtney Kirkland's got 25 years in, Sean Corbin 30 years in, and they've had their hands full tonight with this matchup.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're getting into this kind of hand-to-hand combat, you want guys who have been through these battles.
Rockets lead by 13. After the tee, that's on the deck, and saved by Green. Here goes Eason, taking on all comers, and he lays it in. Just knifing his way through all the Warriors right there.
Tari Eason, one of 7 guys on this team, averaging 12 or more points.
Kuminga throws it up and over the backboard. Houston ball up 15. 2:59 remaining in the third. You're watching the 2025 NBA playoffs presented by Google.
Welcome back. Amen Thompson getting his first taste of playoff action in these 2 games, and he's not going through it alone. It's an entire family affair. You see his dad, Troy Thompson Sr., his mom, Maya Wilson, here at the game tonight, and his twin brother, Asar, who's in the playoffs with the Detroit Pistons, also right alongside him. Amen told me that he watched Asar's game 1, but was too nervous to watch game 2 because they really needed that one. So he just followed the updates instead. But I had a really great conversation. He told me they talk all the time, trading tips on how to guard guys like Brunson and Steph. And Troy, their dad, has not missed a game. He's been flying back and forth from New York to Houston. Their mom, Maya, has been in Houston for the first 2 games and heads to Detroit tomorrow for Asar's homestand. And Amen told me it's been amazing. Him and Asar haven't played on the same night, so they've been each other's biggest supporters. But it has to be an incredible experience for the Thompson family all around, guys.
Yeah, what are the odds? And Amen was the 4th pick, Asar the 5th pick. Not only do they share a birthday, they share a middle name, and it's 4 letters. It is XLNC, which is pronounced excellence. I like that. You're setting a standard early.
You set it early, and they're living up to it. I'll tell you what. Amen in the top 20 in the NBA in rebounding, steals, and blocks.
It's going to be a foul on the Curry shot attempt. Amen did not end up in the finalists, the 3 finalists for Defensive Player of the Year, but certainly got votes and was, I would guess, a top 5 finalist among
I would
players.
think so. And look, he and Asar, both among the best defenders in this league.
It's a great story. 22-year-old twins, both performing in these NBA playoffs. Curry at the free throw line. Rockets lead is 15. And a reminder that the NBA on TNT tonight from Houston, brought to you by NerdWallet.
I'll tell you what's amazing is as physical as they've been with Steph Curry, these are really his first 2 free throws. He shot the one technical, okay, but these are his first 2 free throws that he has earned despite the physical defense.
Anything else you'd like to add about his free throws and his success?
He's now made 44 in a row. Well, not officially, not officially, because we don't count the ones he made in the play-in game. I don't understand. One of the most important games of the year, and we don't count the stats. Like, they've disappeared. His 13 for 13 in that game don't count.
Here's Amen Thompson, comes up short. The bigger story is you baiting me into trying to jinx Stephen Curry. We've been working with you long enough now. You teed me up. But yes, 44 in a row, and that's going to be off Curry. Good hands by the Rockets, and it'll be Houston ball.
The Warriors, though, just not totally going away. They haven't cut deeply into the lead, but also not letting it get to 20. They're riding this zone defense a little bit, and then they'll match up out of it late.
Jalen Green guarded by Santos. Adams gives it right back. Green for 3. No, missed it badly. He's got 25 points. This Houston team, a poor three-point shooting team. Poor shooting team all the way around, really. Field goals and free throws. As Looney gets to the basket, here come the Warriors, and Ime Udoka starting to feel that a little bit. Timeout Rockets. The lead is 11 for Houston. Minute 10 remaining in this third quarter. And the short-handed Warriors not going away. It's like Up and Adams with Kay Adams. Run It Back featuring Lou Will, Chandler Parsons, and Michelle Beadle on FanDuel TV. Free on all your favorite devices. Ooh, a little piece of history right there, those back-to-back titles. Got Kenny the Jet Smith all feeling good back in Atlanta. Great memories, and they're trying to return to some of those glory days here. They got a very good team. The Rockets 52-30, finished with the second-best record in the West. Taking on the 7 seed, the Warriors coming out of the play-in, beat Memphis, and out of that timeout, Jabari Smith Jr. rips a three-pointer. And a turnover now. Green on the run, rises high and throws it down. Jalen Green with a highlight of the night.
Well, great response out of the timeout. 5 straight to take that lead back to 16.
Looking for Curry. Santos finds him. Curry hits.
Well, they ran their split action. Şengün was on Looney. They want to use Şengün's guy as the last screener because they know there won't be a screen. Looney, one of the best screeners in the league, gets Curry open.
Şengün in the center of that wheel, sets up Green. Another 3. He's feeling it tonight. Jalen Green hits yet another three-pointer.
15 of his 21 field goal attempts from three-point range. He's made 6 of them.
And he's got 30 as Curry is fouled. Well, electrifying couple of possessions here for Green. The big dunk showing his explosiveness. And then he drills the three-pointer. He's got 15 in the quarter here. Well, Ime Udoka called the perfect timeout just as the Rockets were squandering their big lead. It got down to 11. And now Houston pushing it back up 16.
Well, and now he goes to that no center lineup again with 11 seconds so that he can switch every screen. So they're not going to come to a screen. They're just going to let Curry work on Fred VanVleet.
Curry fires an air ball. VanVleet stuck right with him.
And now Şengün will come back in with 2.3 seconds. Coaches in the playoffs coach every single possession. They don't just, 2.3, no big deal, because they know how valuable every possession can be in a game. These are the biggest games of the year. You take nothing for granted.
Don't think Ime Udoka does not have strong feelings against the Warriors. Had a chance to win a championship. 22, the Celtics. Warriors won that title. That one no good. Back iron almost went. End of the third. Rockets get a clutch timeout and come out of it and deliver in a big way. And they take a 16-point lead into the fourth, trying to tie this series at one apiece. You're watching the first round presented by NerdWallet.
Coach, Jalen Green, I know he had a tough shooting night in game one. 30 points so far through 3 quarters. What have you liked about his response?
Yeah, his aggressiveness, his confidence. He didn't lose his confidence at all. He came down, attacked from the get-go, and he's getting to his spots and finding guys.
You've led through 3 quarters. How do you close this physical game out?
Continue to be aggressive offensively, get stops and get out and run. That's been the formula for us all year. Obviously, a crash the glass, but we got to be aware of Curry. He's going to come out aggressive. We got to be there on the shots.
You may appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ime Udoka, year 2. Rockets with the number 2 seed this year, and Warriors turn it over first possession of this fourth quarter. Warriors got it to 11. And then the Rockets with a burst at the end of that third quarter. Jalen Green with a highlight dunk and a 3-pointer. Rockets lead is 16. Late clock here, down to 2, and Brooks in traffic. And Brooks' little turnaround jumper is good.
Tough shot right there. The Rockets back to that 2-big lineup again with Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün.
Draymond Green misses the 3. Şengün rips down the rebound. 13 boards for Şengün to go along with 15 points. He's got 5 assists as well. Adams in the center of the wheel now. And Brooks driving, stripped by Post. Warriors down 18, running out of answers here in game 2. They'll resume Saturday for game 3 at Chase Center.
Well, here's the problem. The Warriors had problems in the non-Curry minutes early in the year when they were under 500. Jimmy Butler took those problems away because they had a guy to go to. Now we're seeing them again without Curry and no Jimmy Butler. Very, very difficult for the Warriors to generate half-court offense with this lineup.
Kuminga called for the foul. Jimmy Butler played just 8 minutes tonight. Had a hard fall, crashing down to the floor on his tailbone. Pelvic contusion was the official injury, and as Lauren reported, he'll go for an MRI tomorrow. Podziemski has played ill tonight, and at one point left the floor, came back in the third quarter. He's on the floor now trying to give it a go. Brooks turned away, and a shot clock violation.
And a great defense there by the Warriors.
What a different story tonight for Houston. Just 85 points in game 1.
Well, here's the other thing that changed, though, and Jimmy Butler had a lot to do with it. Only 8 turnovers so far tonight for Houston after 17 in game 1. Jimmy Butler had 5 steals in that game. Very disruptive defender. He hasn't been part of it. The Warriors defense, while still solid tonight, has not been able to force turnovers.
VanVleet driving, gets some space, up and over post. Shooter's touch, coach.
There it was.
Fred VanVleet pushes that lead back to 20. It matches their biggest lead of the game. They're all mic'd up tonight. Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green.
Keep playing fast. Keep playing fast. Keep playing together. Keep playing aggressive. Oh. And stay right here, man. We know we can stop them from scoring. We right there. Come on. Just us. 1, 2, 3.
Appreciate those guys wearing the microphone for us tonight. Rockets on a 12-3 run since that Ime Udoka timeout. As Golden State cut it to 9, it's going to be an offensive foul on the Warriors. Coach, I guess the big question right now, you're down 20 in an NBA game, even in a playoff game, you know, that's not insurmountable, but with the personnel as it is, You think there's a moment to pull the plug here for Steve Kerr and get ready for Game 3?
Well, I was always late to pull the plug, and it is a playoff game. Steve will take it a little longer, but I don't think a lot longer if they don't get back into it, because Green and Curry, especially older guys, doesn't want anybody else to get banged up. If they don't make a run here in the next couple minutes, I think you'll see those guys on the bench.
Curry with a steal. Curry driving behind the back. Van Vliet almost picked him. Surrounded by Rockets. And that extra pass in the corner, and Post hits a three-pointer.
Now, Post has given him a nice lift here. Quentin Post now with 9. He and Pat Spencer, who hasn't even played in the second half, are the second leading scorers here. Curry, the only guy in double figures for the Warriors.
Spencer came on, gave him a quick 9 points. Brooks down inside, taking on Curry. Curry the rebound. Heel finds Moody. Moody in all kind of traffic and able to lay it in. Patient. Ime Udoka upset, calls the timeout. Just when Houston wants to put this one away, the Warriors have an answer.
Rockets star Jalen Green, one of 6 guys in the NBA to start all 82 games this year, and he's got it going tonight. 30 points, 6 made threes, 6 assists, and 3 steals, and this unbelievable dunk.
23-year-old Jalen Green, royalty in the house. How about that? Rockets to score 30-plus in a playoff game, age 23 or younger. And you got those 2 guys on this list, Elvin Hayes and Hakeem Olajuwon, and now Jalen Green tonight. Now that is some company, Mr. Green. Great to be sitting next to those 2 all night long. The dream. Lauren Jabbar, you got more.
I do. I talked to Jalen Green a couple weeks ago, and he said one of his biggest focuses this season was to become more consistent, durable, and reliable. He told me it's all about his routine and just knowing what he wants to do out on the court, knowing the shots around the court that he wants to hunt. But he told me, too, the biggest part is playing defense and rebounding. He said that's what got me involved, especially on nights that I'm not shooting well. We saw that in Game 1, not hitting as many shots, but had 8 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. And fun fact for him, guys, he has the same routine every single game. He eats pasta before his nap, then he naps. I said, what kind of pasta are you eating before the game? He said, chicken Alfredo for the specific dish. Love a pregame meal.
Getting into the details, Lauren.
Oh,
Nicely done.
Nicely done, and good choices by Jalen Green. Love the chicken Alfredo. Great choice there. And who can ever say no to a nap?
2 things Stan Van Gundy loves the most.
There you go. Food and a nap.
Late clock here and a turnover for the Rockets. By the way, Green, first Rocket to score 30 since James Harden in a playoff game. Of course, that was the last time the Rockets were in the playoffs in the bubble. Harden had 30 against the Lakers that year. And Post hits another one. So Quentin Post keeping him in at the 7-footer, the rookie out of Boston College. Just his second career playoff game.
And what a great draft pick by Mike Dunleavy. We haven't talked a lot about him, but made that Jimmy Butler trade without giving up any of his young guys. And then the draft picks there of Podziemski a year ago, Quentin Post this year. I mean, incredible.
Post fouls Van Vliet on the shot.
What'd I say? Not a great pick, Mike.
Rookie mistake right there, Van Vliet, so savvy.
And Steve Kerr looking behind his bench to see if that's one they should challenge.
Thumbs up.
He's going to.
They will indeed light the lamp. Steve Kerr wants to take a look. Feels like Van Vliet flopped. We'll see the result when we come back. Taking a good long look at this here. So the call on the floor is a Post foul. It'll be 3 shots, but the officials looking at this on the Kerr challenge.
Well, if he didn't get him with the arm, this is Fred Van, and I don't think he did. Fred Van Vliet turns that right knee in. That not only could be a non-call, that could be an offensive foul on Fred Van Vliet.
I was looking over at the Warriors bench, and the backbench, who is handling the replays whether to challenge or not, they were emphatic that Post did not foul, encouraging Steve Kerr to challenge. He did.
This is a big call in this game. 7:27 to go. The Warriors have got it to 12. if this call goes their way and they get the ball back especially, could really be a big call in this game.
Could also be a non-call and then a jump ball. That's another option. So we'll see how they resolve it here. David Guthrie, the crew chief. The verdict is in. And let's hear from David Guthrie.
After replay review, Van Vliet lifts his right leg up too high and seeks contact. Therefore, the challenge is successful. The play will be overturned to no foul. The ball was loose when the whistle went off, so play will resume with a jump ball at center circle between any two players that were in the game with 24 seconds on the shot clock.
There you go. Good explanation by David Guthrie. So that is a big benefit to the Warriors. Instead of Van Vliet taking 3 free throws here, they'll jump it. And that's what he's talking about, that right leg, just what you pointed out, Coach.
Well, and you were right, it was going to be a jump ball. The reason it wasn't an offensive foul is he did not take Quentin Post out of the play, nor did he take him down. So it's a non-call instead.
Sengun secures it.
Wow, that could have very well been a backcourt violation. I don't know where Sengun's feet were, but if he caught that in the front court, and now it's going to be
offensive foul on Jalen Green.
And we've said this is a physical game, and it's gotten closer. The physicality has picked up.
They're going to take a look at this, Coach, see if it needs to be upgraded to a flagrant. Immediately, Courtney Kirkland indicated that it was a shot above the shoulders, and they're going to go
Ime Udoka wants a flop. He's adamant. Ime Udoka very, very upset that they're even made the call, let alone going over to look at it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's...
No, he got him up in the face. Yeah, listen.
Easy call. That's why Courtney Kirkland was the official so quick to...
The ruling on the floor of an offensive foul on Green is being reviewed to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
I would say it does.
It definitely does. It's going to. And this could really turn things around because Steph Curry's going to make the free throw. And it's right here that he gets him. He comes up. Brian, here's how I know a game in a series is physical. Is I got a text from Tom Izzo, and he thinks the game is really physical. Tom Izzo thinks every game is soft. If he thinks the game is physical, it's physical.
This looks like every practice I've ever seen with Tom Izzo. And sometimes they do break out the football equipment.
Oh, yeah, no question. And his guy, Draymond Green, on the receiving end of the physicality this time, he's usually one of the guys handing it out.
Green definitely sold it after the fact right there, no question, but the elbow is to the face.
Yeah, once you get your arm up into the guy's face, it's going to be a foul and it's going to be a flagrant. I'd be surprised if this one was not upgraded. Now, in the 80s and 90s, that might not even be a common foul. The bad boy Pistons, that's not even a call.
One thing that is happening here with these two long replay reviews, it has taken the air out of this building. Now they're upset here in the bowl, but
and Steph Curry's heading toward playing 40 minutes again.
What a rest.
And he's getting a lot of rest. That's absolutely right. This is a game that the Rockets want to keep moving between their challenge.
After replay review, there's windup and impact and unnecessary contact by Green. The play is upgraded to a flagrant foul, penalty 1.
Flagrant 1, free throws in the ball. Houston with their 5th turnover this quarter. They had 8 in the first 3 quarters. They've been sloppy with it here in the 4th. Again, Green embellishes a little, but there's no denying the elbow is to the nose. And it was a windup, as David Guthrie said.
Incontrovertible evidence.
So Green will do the honors.
Oh, that's right. It's not a technical. And so they missed the free throw part, but now the Warriors get the ball. Green's going to shoot 2 here, of course.
One out of 2. And Warriors ball.
And down 11 with a chance to cut the lead to a single digit.
Here we go. I tell you, it felt like Houston was a couple of baskets, maybe a little 6-0 run from putting this game away. Now the Warriors are back in it with Curry on the floor. Draymond Green for three, missed it. Jalen Green with a rebound.
A great Rockets defense. Their rotations were excellent. Getting out on the corner three, and instead of a Moody corner or a Buddy Hield corner three, they get a Draymond Green long three. Those are the little things that hold down a team's efficiency.
Well, strong move to the basket by Amen Thompson. That stops a 9-0 Warriors run, and now Draymond Green's going to get hit with a tee. Activity after that basket. David Guthrie was right there.
And Fred VanVleet gathering up his guys at midcourt to talk to them about keeping their poise in this game and finishing it out.
Green and Şengün.
I see what Green's talking about. I mean, Şengün's arms up around his neck.
.13 game here. 6.5 to go. Curry in and out. Green rebound. Post. He's been hot. He fires. Missed that one. Şengün clears it away.
Still a lot of time in this game now.
Houston looking for a finishing kick here to even this series. Step back three. Green got it. Jalen Green. What a night. It's the Jalen Green game.
That's a bad switch for the Warriors, though. Post going on to him. I think they would have been better off blitzing that one, making the ball go back to Brooks.
Şengün got the rebound, got slapped in the face.
And now Ime Udoka wants that reviewed for a flagrant. I don't think it was at all, and I don't even think they're going to look at it.
Şengün, big rebound. Hield just kind of raked him across the face there.
Coaches, you want everything at this point. Trying to close out a must-win here for the Houston Rockets. You're on your home floor. You cannot go down 2-0. That's only happened 35 times in NBA history. And the team that goes up 2-0 has won 30 of those series.
Here's Brooks driving, leaves it up. Thompson hangs and is fouled. Thompson goes down hard on his tailbone. Amen Thompson to the free throw line.
Now the Rockets want something on that more than a common foul. This is a contentious series.
Oh man. This third game Saturday will be on ABC. And again, the 2 days off. Credit Steve Kerr too. He looked like he was close. He was looking at the bench. You thought maybe he was going to pull the plug. Stuck with him. They got it to within 11. Now 5:36 remaining here in this fourth quarter.
And Buddy Hield and Ime Udoka having a little laugh on the sideline.
Thompson misses. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by New Balance.
And this is the one place where Amen Thompson's got to improve, and I will bet that he will, is as a shooter. 3 for 4 today, but 0 for 4 from the line in game one, under 70% on the year. He's out there for this stuff. His defense is rebounding, his energy, and
turnover. Green lays it in, and that might just do it. 7-0 run as the Warriors got to 11. The Rockets have that finishing kick. Jalen Green keeps it going. 35 tonight for the superstar. 19, and as we went to commercial break, Draymond Green was not done. He and Fred VanVleet come together. They're jawing right in front of that Rockets bench, and this is what happened. No punches thrown, but bodies started to come in and pushing and shoving.
Well, and that was good, though, that people getting Draymond Green away. He's probably going to end up with a technical here and be ejected. I think Steve Kerr was going to take these guys out of the game anyway, but you don't want Draymond Green suspended for game 3. And so his coaching staff getting in, security guys getting Draymond Green away. Very, very smart.
The hold me back guys were on point there.
Well, they were, and they were great self-control by the players. Nobody losing their composure to the point of getting suspended. Excellent job, and give the referees credit. Courtney Kirkland right in the middle of that.
Lot to sort out here. Been that kind of game.
Well, Draymond knows he's going to the locker room. He's coming out of the game anyway. Steve Kerr took the timeout. I'd be shocked if those guys are still in the game, though they are still on the bench. So it's possible. Hard to let go of a playoff game. And you mentioned it earlier, Brian, the Warriors have 2 more days off before this to get rest. So Steve Kerr can play this out as he wants. But the game is very physical. He does not want guys to get hurt, least of all Steph Curry.
There's 2 series in the West, Coach, that just
After review for the altercation, there will be a single technical foul assessed to Eason for throwing the towel in an unsportsmanlike manner.
Oh, wow.
Tari Eason.
Draymond Green avoids. I thought they'd go with the dreaded double technical on Van Vliet and Draymond Green. But look, to their credit, I don't say it as a criticism. The referees know Draymond has a technical, and they don't want to eject him from the playoff game, and there was no fight or anything else. And so they don't. But Steve Kerr removes Draymond Green from the game, probably to calm down the emotion. He doesn't want to take a chance of Draymond Green.
That's the towel throwing from Tari Eason that David Guthrie just referenced. I did not see that in the original replay. So
Dylan Brooks very upset about the game, the way the game was called.
Stops a 7-0 run. Green's on the bench. Curry able to hit the tee. He's got 20 tonight. By the way, Curry went over 4,000 points in his illustrious career in the playoffs. So it is 18. Warriors with the ball.
I mean, we've seen it many times. 18 with 5 minutes to go. There's plenty of time, especially when you have a Steph Curry on the floor.
I saw him score 17 points in a 5-minute overtime in Portland once. One of the more impressive feats in a career of impressive feats. The chef. Guy Santos at the line for a pair. NBA playoff schedule continues tomorrow. NBA TV has a dandy tomorrow. Clippers and Nuggets game 3. Friday, Celtics and Magic, Lakers and Wolves, and then Pacers Bucks, all on ESPN, NBA.com or the NBA app. This Western Conference tightly contested. We had the Clippers and the Nuggets the other night. That's going to be a great series. Rockets finish business here. This one figures to be an excellent series as it goes back to Chase Center in San Francisco Saturday.
Well, yeah, if the Rockets hang on tonight, you're going to have 3 of the 4 Western Conference series knotted up at 1-1.
Wolves, Lakers. Lakers had a nice answer after the Wolves won game 1. And Jalen Green just stacking them up tonight. Back to a 20-point Houston lead.
Holy cow. That is 38 for Jalen Green.
And 8 made threes for Green. Moses Moody connects on a 3-pointer on the other end.
I think Moses Moody has to do that the rest of the series. They're going to play Şengün on him. He's got to willingly shoot the 3 every single time he's open. The guy is a 37% three-point shooter, and he's got time to set his feet and get him off in rhythm.
Brooks guarding Santos, Curry, and now it's Looney to Kuminga, who drives and lays it in.
Well, a rare time they switched Şengün out on the post split onto Curry. That's what opened up Looney on the split.
Well, Jalen Green is the Rockets headliner tonight. But the story of this game and the postscript will be the health of Jimmy Butler. Nice lead by Şengün to Amen Thompson. Second time they've connected. Timeout. And the Rockets in control and ready to even up this best of 7 all at 1. Will Jimmy Butler be able to return to this series? Took a nasty spill. Pelvic contusion right down on his tailbone. 8 minutes of playing time for Butler in that first half. Went immediately, made the free throws, then went immediately to the locker room. And an MRI tomorrow. This series will resume Saturday on ABC at 8:30 Eastern. And then it's every other day, Stan, following Game 3. 2 days until their next one, and then it's every other day.
Well, and that's the only real good news right now for the Warriors on the injury front. Lauren Jabara reported earlier, Jimmy Butler will have an MRI tomorrow. If he's okay, then he's got the extra day to recover, which is a good thing for the Warriors.
Pat Spencer goes into double figures as he lays it in.
Spencer's had a good year in limited minutes with the Warriors. When they've needed him to step up, he has.
And a whistle. Trayce Jackson-Davis on the floor for the Warriors, gets the foul.
But you know, B.A., we talked the other night, we had the Nuggets game, and we talked about the versatility of Nikola Jokic. And I'm certainly not trying to put Şengün in that class yet. But what haven't we seen from Şengün tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, defensively, we've seen the steals and the quick hands. We've seen him make threes. We've seen him post up and score. We've seen him put the ball on the floor and drive it. We've seen great passing from him, including that last lob off the dribble. This is one of the most versatile big men in the game. We see a lot of these guys now coming over from Europe. An outstanding offensive player.
17 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals for Şengün. Stat-stuffing machine here tonight. Kevin Knox misses a 3. Got Braxton Key on the floor as well. Knox with the offensive rebound. Kuminga getting some extended minutes tonight. Minus Jimmy Butler, 23 minutes. And it'll end up being 25 minutes for Kuminga.
And I love what Ime Udoka's doing. Taking no chances right here and keeping his starters on the floor. I think he'll sub now after that three-pointer and they go back up 20. But he did not pull the plug quickly. When you get a win in the playoffs and you've got one there, you make sure you finish it out.
Well, let's recognize this moment, too, for Houston.
I mean, the game's so physical right now. We got Courtney Kirkland running over
taking a foul.
VanVleet.
Coach, the last playoff win in this building for the Houston Rockets, May 6, 2019.
And now we just get a double technical on Pat Spencer and Amen Thompson. Watch Courtney Kirkland being physical here. We say physical series, we mean it here. And now these two guys are John, Pat Spencer, and Amen Thompson. Wow.
Called a foul on himself, Courtney Kirkland.
He should have. And the Rockets starters getting a standing ovation from their crowd. And look, Jimmy Butler went out. We know it's a huge story, but this team stepped up and did what they needed to do.
Jalen Green, 8 made threes, ties a Rockets playoff record. Tied Chris Paul and Matt Maloney of the late 90s with the 8 made threes tonight.
Matt Maloney's dad, a great college coach.
Rockets' last playoff victory in this building came against the Warriors back in that 2019 playoffs. Again, they were in the playoffs in 2020, but that was in the bubble in Orlando.
Trayce Jackson-Davis, who lost his spot in the rotation, gets a tip in there. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league, 10th per minute in the NBA.
Reed Sheppard, the rookie out of Kentucky. Cam Whitmore drives Met at the apex. And Jackson Davis on the run out. Leaves it up top. Kuminga can't quite finish it. Going to be a foul
on Aaron Holiday. Jonathan Kuminga sort of laughing about it with him. It's a little bit of push, but it doesn't take much contact with the guy up in the air. So it's one thing to have a little bit of contact down low. The referees can let that go. But one of the moves they made years ago, which I think was a good one, was to protect airborne guys.
Kuminga at the line. By the way, great to see Jeff Green get some minutes. We mentioned the veterans that the Rockets brought in. Green certainly belongs on that list as well in year 17, and a champion with the Nuggets back in 2023. 38 years young, running with the Young Bucks here to finish this game as we go under a minute. Jalen Green, a record-setting performance, ties a Rocket playoff record with 8 threes. Houston with a big answer tonight. And they're going to even this series in 1 game apiece. It's been a very familiar playoff matchup, Warriors and Rockets. They met 4 times in a 5-year window from 2015 to 2019. Warriors won all 4 of those. 2 of those years for Golden State with championship seasons. But this is a new Rockets team. And they are going to San Francisco, all even at 1 apiece. And now all these young Rockets players experiencing the playoffs for the first time will experience a road game at Chase Center.
The most important people in the Warriors organization right now going into game 3, the medical staff. They got to get Jimmy Butler ready for game 3 in San Francisco. And remember, the Rockets just won there a couple of weeks ago. So in a big game, so they go in there with the confidence that they can go into Chase Center and win. That's it.
Rockets win. 109-94. Monster game from Jalen Green. 38 points. Şengün with a double-double. 17 and 16. How about this Western Conference? Oklahoma City has been dominant over Memphis, but the other 3.
Давно меня томили в разгаре девственной мечты. Они скучали и не жили, и мяли белые цветы. И вот в столовых и гостиных над грудой рюмок там старух, над скукой их обедов чинных свет электрический потух. Вносят, ставят свечи, на лицах желтые круги, шипят пергаментные речи.
Oh, heaven knows, men know that I love you so much, Jamila. Ooh, yes I do. You left my world and left me so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna จะมีแค่ไรจะมีลักยาเพมึงและดาวกีดาบังกันจะมีละบ้าและดาวกีดาบันจะมยันทบ้าเฮ้ไว้โยอันนี้มันจะมีละJamila, don Allah gida babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila zuciya na ɓaciwa gida 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 gida. No matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women.